Good morning, afternoon, and evening. Welcome back to the Liberal Artists Podcast. I am your temporary host for this episode, Andy Gibby Gibson. And alongside me is my co-host, Kaylie Horowitz.
You know, there's a lot more space in this room when there's only 2 chairs instead of 3. We have so much more room for activities.
Empty chairs at empty tables. Because my beau has gone.
Is it B-O or B-E-A-U-X?
You know, it's up to you. It truly...
Shippers, pay attention.
Shut the fuck up. Beau will kill us.
Like he's not already. Readers, viewers, listeners, read the title of this episode. Like Beau's not already going to kill me after this goes out on the internet.
All right, before we go all Scholastic Book Fair up in here, we have an ongoing tradition this season where at the start of each episode, we talk about the World Cup, the world's greatest sleepover. And now, at this point, only 4 countries' moms said yes, they can stay over another night.
This is kind of honestly to the point of the sleepover, though, where I'm just upset at how things have gone. And I'm already ready to go home. And I live here. And I can't go home. I need to kick everybody else out because now I'm just starting. Like the sleepover had some great vibes. We had immaculate vibes in the first few hours of the sleepover. And someone did something stupid and was being real petty. And now the vibes are rank.
I mean, it was enough that, you know, Argentina destroyed the greatest story of all time with Cabo Verde.
I know.
That was rough. What's worse is that it's like they've been hanging on by the skin of their teeth with every game. And it's just like, why won't you die?
Truly. or like freaking Egypt. Like, I can't believe that game was real. I'm so upset. I'm so heartbroken and it's mostly just because I'm just like, I want somebody else to wear the crown. God damn it. I don't care who it is. I just need Argentina and England to lose. And now that's not going to happen.
I mean, what's going to happen is that one of those teams won't win because they have to play.
I know, but I don't want either of them having custody over Hatsune Miku.
I mean, it's not guaranteed. And what's likely is that dictator Mbappe will just stunt on these hoes no matter what.
True.
Editor's note, never mind.
España! Sacre bleu! La roja llegó! La roja llegó! La defensa con Garcia!
It does make me laugh that, like, the most prominent and talented footballers in the world are well aware of all the memes that they're part of. Like, you'll get, like, Haaland responding to, like, shipping memes. I'm sure that, like, if France ends up taking it, like, we'll have Mbappe changing his icon on all of social media to be in, like, classic dictator uniform.
Who's left? We have Argentina, France, England. Who's our 4th?
España.
Spain. Okay. I could live with Spanish Hatsune Miku. Like, that vibes, that tracks. French Hatsune Miku is a meme. And British Hatsune Miku is just made miserable by beans on toast. Save her.
I want to ask you, of all of the things that matter about the World Cup, why is it Hatsune Miku that's at the top of your... I know why.
No, because it's a more recent development. Because, you know, ages ago, now going back to some deeper internet lore, it basically came out by Krypton. That Hatsune Miku is basically like copyright free common domain sort of like use. Like she's not like common domain like copyright law no longer like rolled off of her sort of thing, but that like Krypton basically made it kind of a clearer thing of like you can use this product transformatively. We would like you to. And so with fan art, everybody went, guys, that means every Miku is canon.
Oh, no.
All Mikus are canon whenever you make a Miku. And there was a trend for a while of international Mikus because Vocaloid is a very global phenomenon. So we had Brazilian Miku. We had like Russian Miku. We had like
That's new to me.
Everyone like across the world, artists on Twitter and Blue Sky and Tumblr were like, here's my Miku. So it took a little bit, I think, during the World Cup, but it eventually caught up to people that it was turning into like a custody battle. It was when Brazil got knocked out. That was the first moment of like the custody rights went to the next team that beat Brazil. And then down the line. So to be fair, I have not really been seeing that, and like save for within the last couple of games. And maybe I'm late to that party. Like maybe some people were really like betting on that since the beginning. But like it turned into this like she's the world's diva, but now whoever wins this game has custody rights for the next 4 years.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm really down for British Miku. Just
no.
Like, oh, I fancy a chipper. You got a license for that vocoder?
Oh, fish and chips. Like I've already been seeing people like do, you know, like Vocaloid like meme audios of it. She's like, no, I don't want to be British.
Yeah. I also am concerned that Argentinian Miku would be suspiciously blonde, and nobody gets to ask her what Grandpa did for work.
I don't want Argentina to get her either. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
That's
French
why
Miku.
It's got to be French Miku at the bare minimum, or at least Spanish Miku.
Yeah, I'd be fine. I like, as somebody that has no interest and no like property rights over this concept of a character. This is not a situation of my OC do not steal.
Yeah.
I would be fine spiritually if Miku like took a semester abroad in Spain.
Right.
I think that's the least damaging to her brand, if
at the
you
very
can say
least,
there's a brand anymore.
Oh, there is. There absolutely is. At the very least, though, it is just very funny. Like Spain, absolutely. Like Miku abroad, like is that semester abroad? That vibe absolutely fits. At the bare minimum, it's funny to imagine a Miku whose pigtails are baguettes.
All right. You're kind of selling me on it. A little bit.
Can't you imagine?
All right, so speaking of things that are cringe, let's talk about the focus of our episode today.
Diving right to the heart of it. Yeah, boy.
So we were trying to come up with ideas of the next thing that we were going to talk about. And somewhere deep within a cave in Buffalo, a mad woman started plotting. And she, in all earnestness, suggested to two grown men over the age of 30 who are so irony poisoned at this point that we can truly not even say we're millennial cringe because we pretend that we're above it. And she came up to us and said, Hal, it's about cats. We're talking about the Warriors series today.
Let's go! Fun fact. The first podcast I ever did was when we were learning, how to use computers, how to use GarageBand.
Yeah.
In 2008. And I had no idea what you did with the podcast.
Sure.
And so I talked about the Warrior Cats books.
Incredible.
This was my project for library sciences in 6th grade.
Also, shout out. That is so far ahead of when like every bro podcaster ever even thought about doing this. They didn't even know that podcasting was a thing in 08. That is
Horse
like,
Girls and Catgirls did it first.
That's like pre-McElroy. That's pre-Critical Role. Like, pre-Smartless.
Let me talk to you about my nerdy special interest. The problem is that there's no sharing platform then. Like, I made this project and there was nowhere to put it other than YouTube, which was very video-centric at the time.
Yes.
So why would I upload an audio on YouTube?
And the quality on YouTube would have been crunchy. Real
Not, I was to say, like 180p, not 1080p, 180p.
2008 YouTube was the land of Linkin Park AMVs with 240p rips of Dragon Ball Z put over them.
I thought you were going to say Sonic fan art or Naruto AMV edits.
Fuck you, Sasuke. This is not according to Keikaku. No. So, the Warrior series. Tell me about how you got started reading them and what exactly it is.
Let me just...
Oh, she's locking in.
Ooh, the knuckle crack was crispy. Imagine, like, again, put yourself back. I've seen a lot of nostalgia fodder on TikTok recently. So, POV. You are in 2005, 2006 even.
Yes.
And if you are in any American elementary school, it is very likely that whether you are aware of it or unaware of it, you have been divided into particular groups based on your interests, television or video games or books, because again, it's school. They're trying to get you to read.
Yep.
So maybe you're into the spooky stuff. You're reading Lemony Snicket, or you're reading Goosebumps.
Too real.
Or maybe you're kind of you're the funny guy in class. You're the you know what's comedy. So maybe you're reading Captain Underpants. And
I read a lot of those. It did not translate to me being the funny guy in class. I had to settle for smart kid because I had really good memorization and regurgitation.
Ooh, another
and as
subsect.
soon as we
Very
found out
nice.
that's not what intelligence is, it all came crashing down.
No. But you've got your popular, your Harry Potter kids, your fantasy world building kids.
Yep.
You have your what is it, the Babysitters Club, and your other like niche elementary, like, because again, there's young adult fiction stuff, but there's like nicher, like elementary targeted young adult series, and there's a lot of these books. Fill the shelves of the library with them.
Every single Scholastic Book Fair.
Exactly. So if you weren't the Dragon Kid, if you weren't poring over the Aragon series or attempting
bitching about the movie,
yeah, if you weren't poring over that, you were likely some kind of animal kid. If you weren't a history kid, if you weren't digging in the Egyptology books instead, you're probably an animal kid. And for me, I had already blown through all of the Animal Arc series of books on our shelf.
Not familiar with that one.
Oh,
sounds vaguely religious.
There's probably a reading of that into it now that I'm being honest. Different episode, but it's about a girl whose parents run a veterinary hospital and they live above it, and it's like a Magic Tree House sort of thing where it's a different event, different problem every book.
How could you possibly relate to that?
How could I possibly relate? So I'm looking for like, okay, what's animal stuff? Like, I want to read a new series. And here is this book of this bright orange cat sitting in this like green foresty space, bright green eyes staring right back at the prospective reader. And the bold title, fun, cool font. It says, Warriors. And the subtitle, Into the Wild. And they got me.
Somehow, some way, this sounds like the perfect like pocket of time where like you get on the family computer and you look up Warriors, and it's the perfect time where it's too late for you to be Googling the niche like 80s movie, and too early for like the Golden State Warriors to be popularized. So you just have the world as your oyster. And I can only imagine earlier internet culture just exploding for something like this.
And I will say, this also kind of sits between, like, it came a little bit later, but like it sits between as a long-standing series of books. This was like, I was waiting for the next Percy Jackson.
Yeah.
And I'd already read Guardians of Ga'Hoole.
Ooh,
and it felt, and still kind of does, I will say, like, is it as like big and epic and incredible as like, I'm thinking about now having been able to read Tolkien. No, but it does the idea of like fantasy battle, political intrigue, but like with an animal society that Guardians of Ga'Hoole does, but in, I think, a way that makes it a little bit more accessible in its language to what Rick Riordan does with the Percy Jackson series.
Sure.
That like, it's kind of the best of both of those things where you're like, ooh, there's a mystery here. There's like political subterfuge and treason happening, and, relationship drama, forbidden loves, and maturing and coming of age stories, but also they're cats.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Give me the basic synopsis of the introduction, which is what we focused on in
yes.
this reading.
Yeah, we're looking, and to make it a little bit easier for Gibby, instead of sending him home with immediate Scholastic book homework, we're also looking at the graphic novel adaptations.
Yeah.
That are actually pretty recent. I didn't
like
realize
pictures.
Yeah, picture books. Yay. No, so Into the Wild kicks off the Warriors series with basically this like runaway kind of story. There is Rusty, this orange kitty pet house cat. Let me actually just put a fucking context warning here. I fear I might end up using the book terminology. I'm really gonna try not to, because that is one of those. That's one of those things that's like fucking. It's like being in the ponies fandom, where you go. There are times where these pieces of like world like language anecdotes are just kind of dumb and cringy. And then there's other ones where you go, you know what? I will say every pony with my full chest, actually.
God, Warriors girl married pony boy.
I know.
And I performed the ceremony. This was on me, man. I'm sorry, y'all.
You did this. You performed this union in front of witnesses.
On camera, even.
On camera. No, but so there's world language, because it's like the world of these cats is told by cats. So like people are two legs, cars are monsters,
fair,
roads are thunder paths, and house cats are kitty pets, which is derogatory, because they're born into privilege and comfort and luxury, bourgeois piece of shit. So you have a house cat who's kind of just doing the normal house cat, like, I see the outside, I want to go there, I want to be free, and learns that there are like clans of wild cats, feral cats, I guess, who have a warrior code, who have society. So it's not free for all, but it is like freer and an honorable way of life too. Like, that's going back to look at this. There's a like, ooh, there's an interesting like reading, again, not fully religious. We'll get into that. There's an insane religion like build out in this world. Hank Green has made a video talking about the religion of warrior cats, and it's so good. But you know, Rusty runs away, is brought into ThunderClan, which is one of these 4 clans in this kind of like, you know, river forested area. He's brought in, made an apprentice, and trains with these other young cats. We're also introduced to like cats are given their names by their elders. Like, they are born with a name, you know, gray, fire, blue, river, whatever it is. And they, you know, are kits. They are kittens when they are born. Then they are apprentices. They are paw, fire, paw. And then they do some form of act in their warrior training that they, by their mentor, give them their warrior name. Like, there's rites of passage that they go through in all 4 of these clans. And they rise to become leader. They become star because their ancestors are Star Clan that lives above them in the great beyond. And it's dead ass. Like, it's not a speculative religion. It is dead ass. Like, hey, if a leader dies, like, they have 9 lives.
Yeah.
And they go to the astral plane, basically, and come back until they use all of them up. And then their deputy takes over and then goes to the special magical place where StarClan gives them their 9 lives, and culture builds and myth and legends are made. But the story of Firepaw is he is basically a prophesized cat to the leader of ThunderClan. You know, their medicine cat receives a vision from StarClan that says only fire can save the clans. And then Blue Star, leader of ThunderClan, is, you know, sees this bright orange tabby and goes, well, what about that guy? I think he might have something to do with this. I don't know.
That's fucking convenient.
Truly. So, Blue Star agrees to have him join and train in ThunderClan, and the definitely not suspicious warrior cat who's vying for the deputy position, Thunderclaw, or Tiger, not Thunder, Tiger Stripe. Definitely not suspicious at all. Is plotting things, and it's book one starts us off in a very it feels like the beginning of Lion King when you're watching Scar be a piece of shit, and you're just like, but he's gonna do something. I know it. That motherfucker's planning something in the corner, but I'm too distracted with the young, naive, bright-eyed character learning to prove themselves and do things and learn what honor means and camaraderie, etc., etc. And then it all goes wrong.
Because of course it does. Because you got to have conflict with it.
Yeah. Basically, in the first book, there is a reveal that in a recent battle where the deputy of ThunderClan was killed, and Tiger Stripe blamed it on RiverClan. That was him. Murdered somebody in his own clan. And his apprentice saw. And so instead of, letting him be killed by his mentor, Firepaw and Greypaw are like, hey, we gotta get this guy out of here. We need to save homeboy. Please. So
among many other twists and little turns with the balance of the forest.
Truly, yeah. There's a lot of balance as a theme in these stories, even though so many of them is everything's just kind of a lot out of balance. We try to fix it, and we do, but then it's unfixed. Or actually, it wasn't ever quite this way. In later books, we learn actually there was a whole other clan called Sky Clan who was erased off the map by the people, the humans that moved in and built a suburb. And we've got to go put them back together. And actually, there's all these other little rogue groups that splintered off from these other cats whose society and culture betrayed. So,
including a Great Migration narrative with them having to move to the lake.
The badger tells them they have to go, and so they have to go because the badger said so.
Look, when the badger tells you to do shit, you don't question it. You just go.
As the badger moles of Avatar convinced me as such. So yeah, that tracks.
So, you know a lot about this series. This was my first dip into it. And I gotta say, not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Hey, we'll take it.
Yeah. Well, I think about my first exposure to this was it was the favorite book of that one girl in your elementary school class.
Yeah.
Who was kind of quiet and kept to herself, but for damn sure, as soon as she can get on the family computer, she's going on Wattpad and AO3 for her own fan fiction surrounding all the clans and everything like that.
Yeah.
My second exposure was my English teacher friend who was just for some reason in the middle of a gathering one day. She was just like, everybody sit down. We're reading Warrior Cats. And she started reading to us like it was her class. And I was just like, this book, I don't like it. One, because I don't like it. And two, because you've thrust it upon me. This book, Robert, it's pissing me off.
Robert, it's pissing me off.
So this was really my first actual diving into it and exposure to it. And it is a fairly basic narrative, at least on the very start, because you have, prophesized hero, fish out of water, being thrown into a new environment.
Hazed only a little bit.
Yeah. Wants to explore a different path in life because of prophesized dreams and everything like that. Gets a lot of prejudice from everybody else because not only are they privileged, but they're also the special. Has to prove themselves. And I was just kind of like, all right, we've seen this before. It's for young adults and for all of our kids who are eventually going to be diagnosed as neurodivergent.
What's that supposed to mean?
Could mean anything. Open
Must have been the wind.
But what surprised me is that there is a pretty impressive amount of depth with the world building as well as kind of the political intrigue of it,
Yeah.
because you have these four separate clans, and the way it kind of sets it up, it's like three of us are named after elements, and one of us is supposed to be the bad one. We got a real
Right.
Slytherin situation going on right now.
So Tiger Claw, not Tiger Stripe, but exactly. It's like, here's Lionheart and
Yeah.
Blue Star and Tiger Claw.
Broken Spear. God,
Right.
I wonder who's going to be the villain here. That's curious.
Hmm.
But like the way that they build it, so that essentially you have all the clans are kind of in conflict at different times.
Yeah.
So it's not just like there's the hero clan, the bad clan, and the forgettable clan. I like that kind of twist
Which
on it.
Wind Clan sometimes is.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I did do the like Thunder Clan is Gryffindor, River Clan is Ravenclaw,
Yeah.
Shadow Clan is Slytherin, and Wind Clan is Hufflepuff was the like mental map that I kept.
Yeah. And it was just like, it's interesting that like in this like tribalistic setup that they have going on here with a very like big like community living hunter gatherer sort of setup with a little bit of like ebb and flow when it comes to like territory and everything
Yeah.
like that. They also have like a monthly meeting space where they can all like come in and basically turn it into like the HOA meeting or the city
True.
council, just to be like, well, River Clan did not obey the zoning laws, so I'd like some restitution with that.
Honestly, I would love to go back and reread all of the clan meeting scenes at the
Yeah.
Four Trees as exactly like a petty HOA, like town hall. Oh, you're right. I should have been thinking of that as a 10-year-old. How could I have been so stupid?
Truly, it's a mystery. But I thought it was interesting, and not only that, like you have political alliances that essentially get formed. You have people being pushed off of their land and having to like readapt, as well as like Blue Star talking about all the time, like the balance and everything like that of having like the four clans within the forest for, I presume, not only like just like happy go lucky everybody get along reasons, but also for religious reasons, what with the balance being disrupted.
Yes. Yeah. Like there is basically, and it's expounded in later books of like the warrior code that exists. It's the same as the OSHA handbook. Each code rule is made because someone done fucked up
Yes.
in years prior. There's a great timeline that I just found earlier today on Reddit.
Yeah.
It's only from 3 years ago too, which is crazy. By Flamestorm the Cat.
Of
But
course.
their guesstimate of like, what sequence of events, leadership, timeline happenings, these cats are roughly in this area since the 30s.
Okay.
Like we have this sort of projected idea of like in the 20s, here are some of these things happening. We talk like, there's like the shopping mall comes about during this time, and a character was hit by a Model T that was produced, from 1908 to 1927. But, theoretically, there are, about 8 decades or so worth of generations that all exist, or, roughly in this space. Like as they move into this area and they find, Four Trees and other landmarks and go, it's sacred, it means something, but even in that time, territory changed. Clans were driven out. Like other cats tried to start things that went nowhere, and then those political alliances shifted in completely different directions. Like it's a continuously living and evolving like organism and system of, checks and balances and trades off with one another.
Yeah, like where we enter into the story, there's a lot of tension because Thunder Clan is kind of running out of warriors who are assigned to defend the territory
Yep.
from either like invasion from other clans, other dangers, as well as like for hunting purposes.
Yep.
And not only that, you're dealing with like Wind Clan being thrown off of its territory, the Shadow Clan like breaking warrior code,
Mm-hmm.
and River Clan's there. Sometimes
Yeah.
they're there just to dick around.
They're
But
there to be assholes until they
yeah,
need help. That is like the MO of every fucking River Clan cat.
yeah, Shadow Clan's kind of evil, but not all of them are assholes
But
about
I was gonna say River Clan is just like petty until they're in a bind, and it's like, dude, hello?
it. That is very HOA though, if we're being honest here. But like the dynamics of it and how those shift are interesting. The characters aren't. I'm sorry to dunk on your
I didn't know where that sentence was going, but no, you're not wrong. I don't think you're wrong.
Yeah, sorry to dunk on your special interest from 2005. If you want to hit me back, you can talk shit about Lego Star Wars.
I can't knock the little building things sound is very satisfying. That's the little.
It gave us
Like that.
the Lego Yoda death sound, and I think we're all better for it.
I can't even attempt that. You're absolute editor Gibby. Put that in here.
So this is not just my criticism. This is a criticism of other readers and literary critics, where when you have young adult fantasy, there's a lot of tropes that things fall into, but with this book in particular, a lot of the characters, the extent of their depth is just their function within the clan. Like,
Yeah.
at least in the graphic novel version, and I'm sure there's more time in the printed version, but there's not a lot of depth outside of maybe the friend characters, because most of the mentors, save for Tiger Claw, are pretty straightforward, where it's like, my motives are my character.
Right.
My like work functions are my character. We don't get that much emotional depth outside of maybe Ravenpaw or Gray Boy. Like,
Yeah, Gray
I'll fuck
Stripe.
I'll fuck up the names, and all y'all cat fans can hiss at me all you want. I ain't gonna hear it. Yeah, see, I didn't hear it because it didn't pass through the Discord noise
Ooh.
filter.
Boo.
But essentially, like, Rusty is just there to be the prophesized hero. He has
Yeah.
some doubts. He has like some trials and tribulations, but the repeating pattern is, hey Rusty, you fucked up a little bit, but you did a little bit more that was good. Promotion time.
Right.
And that's kind of his narrative arc, where he's just like, he's gonna complete the quest. He'll fuck up a little bit, and that's how we learn more about the warrior code and also the dynamics. Like, it's less so for like character development, it's more so for like plot advancement, which I know like go hand in hand in many cases, but it's kind of like, what else? What else do we know about like these people before they die? Because like a shocking amount of cats die.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's the thing I think that kind of went
Yeah.
over my head as a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
Or like I don't even know if it was like it went over my head, because they're pretty deliberately and explicitly like, no, he's dead. They're like that. It's not like and then they were never seen again. No, he's dead.
No.
He got gouged.
Throat
like,
ripped out.
Yeah.
Claws out.
Brutalities happen in these fucking books, and it's not just like one instance, it's like multiple times. They're just like, oh my god,
it ain't like
full
scale Watership Down, but like it's closer to it than further from it.
That I think that was the thing. In like, again, I read these in elementary school, middle school, stopped because the conglomerative collection of authors known as Aaron Hunter got on a bear tangent in, the 2010s, and I stopped paying attention to this franchise. But then, like, I think in my 20s, I kind of was just like, what's going on over here? And was reminded exactly of how brutal some of this is. Of just the, like, yeah, this character serves no purpose other than to become fodder. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, like, we're kind of dealing with, there's a lot of characters, so that there's not that much time for development and everything. But, like, give us, like, a crumb of a scene or something, like, to establish more about, like, Rusty's relationship with, like, the medic or Lionheart or,
Mhm.
like, anybody that isn't, like, his immediate friends slash mentor, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and, like, we do get that with something like the character relationship between Firepaw and Yellowfang. Like, that adds, like, complexity and gives Rusty more time to be, like, introspective or to question, like, the shades of gray and everything. I
Yeah.
appreciate it in, like, forms like that. But it also feels like we introduce just a fucking ton of cats and then, like, spend, like, no time with a ton of them.
There's a little bit of that, and I don't remember, like, again, in this case, if it's just and I don't know if I mentioned this, with these graphic novels, we are boiling 6 books down into 3, so
Yeah.
there's some pieces that get left out and some, bonding time-ish that we
Yeah.
have with some characters that's cut down, and some of it just deliberately happens off screen because fuck you.
Sure.
Like, or off page, I guess, where it's like different character POV.
Yeah.
Um, so there are some of those things because again, these books follow Fireheart specifically. Um, for again, the first iteration of Into the Prophecy stuff. Um, but I I think what came to mind later, rethinking all of these, and I don't want to say it sounds very like Onion article, like this feels like Boss Baby. Guy says guy who's only ever seen Boss Baby trying to
Sure, sure.
compare other media to things. But the rate in which we're introduced to characters and the sacrifice and the cutthroating of all of this started like making the Game of Thrones alarm go off in my head. And
Sure,
I'm just like, I don't know if it tracks fully, especially as somebody who has never read nor watched the series.
sure.
But it definitely was feeling like that. Like, is this just how you write something that's a political thriller? You introduce a bunch of people and kill them all off strategically? I don't know.
Well, I think the difference, mainly, God, I can't believe I'm going to compare Warrior Cats to Game of Thrones, but here we are. Sorry, I almost made you do a spit take there. I
Please
think
don't make me spit on my microphone.
I use this for work, please.
Ah!
I think one of the big differences between those story structures is that something like Game of Thrones will go between like 10 different characters' POVs in the book. So we can like jump between different locations, even if they're like across the world, or get like the perspective of people in like different families or from different like alliances and everything. Versus, at least to my understanding, this is just from Rusty's perspective, which, kind of narrows the worldview. And if Rusty's not actively with that person, they functionally don't exist outside of, like, main villains or anything like that.
Mm.
Mhm.
So I guess because I think I remember feeling annoyed with some of these characters. And I'm curious, like, kind of on the topic of just like, there's not depth. What were your thoughts on? We don't get as many of them in this iteration, like they come
Sure.
later, but the kid characters. Because I used to find them so obnoxious, even though it was like clearly these are meant to be your POV. Like, hey, like they're also children.
Yeah. Are we talking about like the kittens?
Yeah, like the kits and like when some of them become apprentices,
Yeah.
the like, wow, oh boy.
I don't despise it in the same way that you do.
Okay.
Probably because I didn't have to like read it in prose format. Like I could like
True. Okay.
that was like a single chapter and I got through it pretty quickly.
They're more
versus like
tolerable as comics.
yeah, exactly. Like where it's just like Rusty saying like, "Wow, I used to be like that," or like,
Yeah.
Here's my knowledge that I'm passing on to you, so that like you too can become apprentices," which is just wild. Like from a world building perspective, I know obviously like that humans and cats have very different age spectrums, but like just throwing some 6 month old cat into Vietnam is kind of crazy, man.
Right. Like that's in the like retrospective, like, oh yeah, what's going on? Oh.
You pop out and it's
Okay.
just like, all right, here's your M16 kid, go kill Shadow Clan.
I mean, I will say I will say this for anybody who knows what I'm talking about out of this context. Um God, what happens to Cloud Kit is absolutely brutal.
Oh, we talking about child murder?
There's a lot of moments because I think it's in like some of the later books. Like we get into
Yeah,
this first one that's like, oh yeah, wow, like there's things to aspire to, and then there is so much. It's everyone's favorite rule to break is the cats can't be with cats from another clan
sure.
shit. We get so many kittens out of wedlock across clans later in this goddamn series. Like
I
that is like I feel like the most broken rule of the codes.
All right, I'm starting to understand the Game of Thrones comparison.
No, like there are so many moments of like, cats in forbidden loves, like star-crossed lover instances, and then we come back and it's like you have kids and it's like, yeah, and I can't keep them here. Like they're not safe here.
You
Please
are a
take them.
dishonorable bastard, Kitty Paws.
Like there are multiple instances of characters either having like split parents slash like their mother dies in childbirth and they have to go live with their father.
Brutal.
There's one that is a later on that is a medicine cat they're like nuns basically, where it's the like I take a celibacy oath because again this is written from something that happened with an early medicine cat where it's like no, you can't ever take a mate or have kittens. And what happens to a medicine cat later on? She has kids and her sister raises them as her and her husband's own and they tell no one.
Damn, I thought they were gonna pull some like Reba shit right there, just like a single cat who works 2 jobs.
I mean, that's spoilers. Kind of becomes Gray Stripe. That's kind of what ends up happening to our poor boy. Fell in love with a River Clan girl, but like there's so much that ends up happening with like kittens as like pawns or like reflective devices, where we get like we learn, oh goodness, what is it, Bramblepaw later on.
You could make up any name, and I would
no.
have no choice but to trust you.
Fireheart gets an apprentice later on who is, surprise, Tiger Claw's son.
Damn.
That it's like oh shit. I don't know how to feel about this. Like
Hardcore, son.
No, they start going down some kind of weird, like fucked up lines of like, well, you have to for the good of the clan, but I hate this motherfucker. I'm not gonna teach his kid.
How many books does it take to take out Tiger Claw?
5? Do you want spoilers?
I could not care if you gave
So
me
we meet an
spoilers.
even bigger, badder, meaner asshole cat who becomes our antagonist that teams up with Tiger Claw in this sort of like, we're gonna take back the woods. We're gonna reclaim the territories. That is named Scourge, who is a tiny, lanky, scrawny black cat with like white markings, who was born a house cat, but who is fucking vicious.
Yeah, we've all known one.
Decimates Tiger Claw.
Oh shit.
Like, one fucking swoop kill basically in front of all of the other cats.
Oh my god.
And goes,
they wharfed Tiger Claw?
and he's like the Tiger Star at that point.
Damn.
Who takes over, like fully takes over Shadow Clan. Scourge goes, nope, this coup is mine now, and Blood Clan runs this shit. And that's how we kind
wow.
of get sent into book 6, like, as the end of that series is like, all right, lock the fuck in, kids.
I read that,
It's
like,
like
you
Captain
know,
America Civil War in here.
I read that, like, later on, like, once, like, Rusty is, like, clan leader and everything, he
Mm-hmm.
has to,
Firestar.
like, die in battle against the
Yep.
spirit of Tiger Star and everything, and I was
Yep.
like, "Oh, that probably means that, like, Rusty took out, like, Tiger Claw after dealing with, like, you know,
Nope.
finally bringing up the, like, evidence that, you know, he's a traitor and he, like, killed a bunch of cats and everything." Really? None?
Yeah, nope.
Rusty never gets to reveal. He just has to, like, raise
I mean,
Tiger's
he gets to
shithead
reveal
son.
like that does end up happening because there's a multiple sort of like, you know, recouping of like, hey, how do we take care of Shadow Clan? Like, or, you know, is it
Mhm.
still Shadow Clan? Have they gone rogue? Have they taken a separate faction
Yeah.
out of that system entirely and they are now operating as rogue entities that, you know, could be attacking from any which way, and they don't obviously abide by any clan code, so now we're
Sure.
all on our own. Like there's a lot of that sort of regrouping and re-strategizing that happens with the constant just sort of threat that they are out there, and you don't know who's gonna get hit next. um Words along with that, like, yeah, and then, you know, Fireheart falls in love with a enemies to lovers sort of situation with Sandstorm.
Really?
Yeah, he gets a girlfriend,
Ah,
and they have, you know, kids together who then, funny enough, they're like Squirrel Claw ends up, or Squirrel Heart ends up with Brambleclaw. Where
God,
it's the just like, God, we're doing the different, like, it's Kiara and Kovu.
that's
It's the
yeah. I was just
like
about to say that's Lion King 2, Simba's pride up in this bitch.
exactly. Like, there's some fun stuff that we get to. We just get over the hurdles of the death and or just offing of characters that it's like, so then how do we make room to add more to the roster? Well, we get rid of the old ones. Oops.
All right, I need to know what happens to my girl Yellowclaw because, like, from the start, Yellowfang. I was just
Yes.
like, I like her. She's like an old broad that's just kind of over it, and for
Oh
some
yeah.
reason, I thought about her having like the same voice actress as Ursula the Sea Witch.
Ooh. You
What
know,
happens to my girl? I need to know before we like start to wrap things up.
so, you know, again, she is kicked out of Shadow Clan. We find her in this series as
Yeah,
a an outsider, an outcast.
yeah,
Um we are introduced, I think, a little bit in this one, yeah, to the current Shadow Clan leader, who is Broken Star.
yeah.
That's her son.
No.
Yeah.
And her
That
son killed her husband. Killed his daddy.
exactly.
And then he gets
So,
kicked out and some new, I don't know, like neoliberal guy comes in.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so yeah,
He
so
probably doesn't
she,
last, does he?
not really. Shadow Clan kind of goes through a run of just like, oh, good lord,
They're
of
like the
leadership
British with the
issues.
prime ministers.
Um, but you know, it is, I forget in which part of like book of the series of series 1 that this happens in. Um, but she takes on Cinderpaw in ThunderClan as an apprentice.
Okay.
Um, but then there, through other instances, she ends up blinding Broken Star,
Sick.
trying to attack, like Shadow Clan is trying to attack and break down ThunderClan. She
Yeah.
blinds her own son.
Damn.
And you know, they took him as prisoner. But, you know, he helped plot an attack, and she kills him with death berries. Like, she kills him with a poisonous plant.
Hell yeah. Family drama. I'm down for this. This is pretty sick.
But like, it's all of the shit happens with like cutting off this like one part of the lineage of like Shadow Clan's leadership, and then she dies from smoke inhalation when a fire is set in ThunderClan.
Damn. Rest in peace, Queen.
Yeah. Like, she's it's There's a weird moment where it's that like, yeah, she gives Firestar one of like, or no. It's when she's all right. No, I'm. Blah, 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 blah.
The
It's not in the
canon.
moment. They find her. We do see her again when Fireheart becomes Firestar and receives his 9 lives. It's like meeting with the different people from his past,
Yeah.
giving him a life. She is one of them. We do see her
Aw.
again as an elder in StarClan, giving him a life.
That's pretty sick.
There's a lot of other weird astral projecty shit that happens where it's like, yeah, during the great battle, which is a whole other thing, she kills Broken Star a second time.
God damn.
You know,
I brought
it's
you
weird.
into this world. I took you out of it.
Yeah.
And I'm taking you out of the next one.
It's like a reverse, not like, Oedipal or Electra complex, but there's a tight family drama of like, goddamn, all right, we're all just like off in again, why I kind of went to Game of Thrones, where it's like, we're just all off in each other one at a time. Cool.
It's a Lois and Stewie. Oh man, I almost got you again. That microphone almost
I need to
died.
stop taking conveniently timed swigs of Coca-Cola.
Oh god.
No, but my question to you though, as and again, I know you're looking at comic versus literary prose.
Sure.
But one of the reasons that I decided to drag us into this hellscape was the fact that we have gotten an announcement out of Disney, which is a miracle in and of itself that it's going there, that we're going to be getting an animated series of the Warriors. Presumably the the prophecies begin, first 6 books, of everything.
And they'll do it in 6 episodes because that's what streaming is.
Apparently. I hope they at least get it to 8. I hope they do give it the Percy Jackson treatment where it's a little longer. Yeah. But that's not coming until 2028. But that was what sort of was like inspired me to pitch this because, even recognizing the don't fear the cringe, kill the part of you that cringes. But embrace the cringe.
I am free.
Exactly. Like to me, there is still something about these books that stuck. And I think less so than like Guardians of Ga'Hoole, where it felt like that wants to just be the war story. Yeah. This feels like it's so much more invested in the culture and the world building of like, well, what happens next based on the consequences of other characters' actions. Now what? Which usually cascades into more and more trouble. But I always thought back to this one more fondly of like, where else does this world go and how do all of these pieces, continue? Life goes on, cycles continue. So given that we're going to get a series of this, I was curious to know, like, is there a story in this that you're like, actually, yeah, like this is something that sticks out, not just as like a, here's a kid's little something or other, but in that vein of like, no, but I do want to know more. I want to crack into the lore. I want to see where the world building can go in the right hands.
I think that this is a more nuanced take than a lot of young adult media takes. And I think that is interesting and it has merit. I do think that it's a situation where the plot is much more interesting than the character. And with a lot of media, I kind of sink my teeth more into the character side of things. Like I get more interested in like characters playing off of each other and like dialogue and performance and things like that.
Yeah.
And I feel that like the overall plot with this particular series is probably stronger than like the character writing is. So it's not something that I think I'm particularly interested in spending a lot of time like diving into it or anything, but it has surprised me as to how engaged I was.
Yeah. Like you and that's sort of the thing where I was like, no, but like I'm invested. Like maybe not like deeply, strongly, like but like it does get you, and I can't quite pinpoint when and how, And I don't know if it's the, hey, I'm spending 6 books with these characters and now I care about them. And now here's the next 6. And it's their kids having to like, become important in these new dynamics. But it's like it's like Korra, where it's like, but here's the characters that I loved and they're still here and doing stuff. And here's what their legacy has left as an impact. And like that, like where in between all of that did I suddenly go, but I want to know what happens next? Like, where did the investment come in from? And exactly. Was it the plot? Was it the way that we built up to getting to some of these fights? Or was it smaller in just the like, sitcom and writing rules of like, hey, now that I've spent time with this character and gotten to know who they are, I do kind of give more of a shit about them once you've proven to me that they are a worthy and or redeemable or completely unredeemable character. No in between.
Yeah, I think part of it is when those different strands of tension are brought into the story. I think that's kind of when I get hooked in, where in this particular case, it was like, oh shit, Tiger Claw's bad. I had vibes. I wasn't 100% sure. I thought it might not be, but like, oh no, he's bad. And now like, there's like personal beef, and we're gonna have to figure out how to expose this motherfucker. Now I'm mildly locked in as I scroll through the pages here. I was almost kind of treating it as like a web comic, where I was just like, I got a couple more panels up. Well, let's keep going. Let's see what happens here. Yeah. So like, I think it's something that can succeed as an adapted TV series. I think that it's an easy story to adapt. I think what it will come down to is, will the performances be strong enough to carry water for some of the lacking character development? Like, will the voice actors be given good enough dialogue and direction to be able to overcome one of the weaker aspects of the story?
That's a good point. Are there any voices in particular? You mentioned the sort of Ursula-like voice for Yellowfang. Is there anybody else that you were just like, ooh, I want somebody who's like, even if it's not this voice actor, somebody who sounds like this kind of character or actor to play so and so?
We're gonna make Elijah Wood Rusty.
I was gonna say the same thing. Let's go.
I love Elijah Wood being the lost boy in the woods, whether he's Frodo or Wirt. It's kind of like,
I was just about to say, it's over the garden wall again.
And we're gonna have Clancy Brown as Tiger Claw.
Ooh,
yeah,
that's a good pick.
Clancy Brown is so good at being like scary, gruff, villainous type that you forget he's also Mr. Krabs.
For Blue Star, I can't hear her as anything other than Gina Torres.
Sure.
Like again, I know her best from Suits as Jessica Pearson. But I'm just like, I need this. I need her to be a goddess, powerful black woman. Like, that is who Blue Star has always been in my mind.
Yes. How old is Blue Star? That kind of like changes some of my like casting with it.
I always imagined her in human years, kind of comparable in like late 40s, 50s. Like, she's not old, but she's not a youngin' anymore. Like, she and has been aged by what she has witnessed as well.
We're gonna recruit Viola Davis for this dumb little cat story.
You know what? That could be a good pull.
We got Disney money. Fuck it.
Right, exactly. Like, Disney's putting their name in here somewhere. Surely we've got the
It's
funds.
Suicide Squad, but cats.
Dude, let's go.
Look, with how many of these cats like bite the dust, it kind of lines up.
You can get some really good, exactly, like one-off stunt cast and then they die, and it's so sad that we never get them back in the series, you know?
We're going to get Patrick Warburton for one of the elder cats. Oh, no.
Stop!
Fuck, I fucked it up. Not Patrick Warburton. Sir Patrick. As in Picard.
Oh my god. I mean, I don't know who, because I don't think he's Scourge. I think, honestly, I need... That sounds mean. now that I think about it, but I'm like, no, but like he does such a good performance as a villain. I need Peter Dinklage as Scourge.
That would hit. We're just gonna get Jeremy Irons just to be like, hey, you've played a asshole cat before. You ready for part 2?
Do it again!
Get ready to play another shitty, villainous Disney cat. And it's just like, how much? Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Is that your broken spear? That might be your broken spear. Because he's like villainous, but he's not on. You're not that
the
guy.
Same level of villain.
You're no
exactly.
Tiger Claw.
Exactly. Like he's still kind of an antagonist, but it's a different tier of like, how much big bad are you?
Oh, fuck. We got to stop this before we cast the whole damn thing. And there's too many goddamn cats in this fucking thing.
Jellicle cats, jellicle cats, jellicle cats.
Jesus Christ.
We went the whole episode without making an Andrew Lloyd Webber reference, though. I'm proud.
Hey, you missed the intro. That was a Cats reference.
Oh.
Because, Kaylee, it's about cats. But not everything is about cats.
It's not?
I don't know where this outro is exactly going, but I was just like, fuck, how does Bo do this all the time? You know who's a real cool cat? You are. I bet you didn't see that coming, listener. Oh, God, this is a lot of pressure.
The only cat.
Thank you very much for listening to our podcast, rattling on about some young adult bullshit with kitty cats and kitty pets from 20 years ago. If you'd like to listen to more of our special interests, you can tune in every other Thursday on your favorite listening platform. I am Andy Gibby Gibson. This is Kaylee Horowitz. And next time around, it'll be my turn to bring in some millennial cringe. And let me just tell you, you are not ready, because we are going to be exploring the origins of peanut butter jelly time.
Oh, I was about to say, what are you bringing to the Scholastic Book Fair next? But I can't wait for that instead. Let's go.
I spent all my money on the fancy erasers.
It was $20!
I had 20 whole dollars and they all went into erasers.
No!
Peace.
The Liberal Artists Podcast premieres every other Thursday on your favorite podcasting platform. The show is hosted by Bodio, Kaylee Horowitz, and Andy Gibson. You can find the show at Liberal Artists Pod on Instagram and...
Shit, I'm watching the World Cup right now. What's my line? TikTok.
Thanks to White Hot for performing the theme song, Reflect, which can be found on freebeats.io. Now, I'm off to go exploring, and maybe, just maybe, I'll find a sheep that I can call my own. Good day.
They don't even work half the time. They're garbage erasers.
But they're cool looking.
They look cool.
You want to know my villain origin story?
Oh. Do tell.
Picture it. 2006, Wrights Mill Road Elementary School. I was at the Scholastic Book Fair.
Yes.
And my mother would not let me buy the guide to RuneScape.
No!
I also never signed up for RuneScape because I was the only kid in my grade who couldn't bring himself to lie about the age verification requirement.
God.
The game asked, "Are you 13 years or older?" And I said, "I cannot tell a lie. I am not."
Fucking paladin coded, I swear to God.
And that's probably why I'm well adjusted, because every boy that I know that was into RuneScape is still grinding the fishing and woodcutting level to 99 in the year of our Lord, 2026.
What else is there to do in video games except fish?
Good point.